But they started off automatically with, here comes our friend Will Ostrich. And I mean, he looks like a Batman villain. Here comes the fine feathered fiend with the robe and the thing he's got going on, and he's flapping his wings.
He's not flapping his wings.
He's throwing his arms in the air, and he's got the feathers, right? He's flapping his wings. I'm telling you, if he came out in the 3rd season of Lost in Space, he'd look even more ridiculous than the Carrot Man. But anyway, and he's wrestling Brian Cage because we want to see that for 15 solid minutes, real bad.
And we saw him, was it last week he lost to Omega?
I don't retain this.
Or was it 2 weeks ago? Well, whatever. He lost to Omega, then they had the brawl last week, I guess it was. And now this match.
Well, and Cage has grown his hair out again. Now he looks like Steve Blackman on steroids. At one point, he was a jacked up T-Joe Khan. Then he had the whole fucking mohawk thing. I don't know what the fuck's going on. But anyway, they're starting this match at the top of the show. But before the bell, Don, our friend Don Fallis, is over at Color at the announce desk. And he stands up and tells Ospreay, look at the screen. And they show on the screen Kenny is down on the floor in the back with the referees checking on him, and he's been beaten up. I wrote, "De clown is down," in the words of Tony Gurria.
How did they set this up exactly? So Don Callis is in cahoots with the production truck, and they just cut to it when he said, cut to the assault!
Yes, cut now to the assault that we just perpetrated so that we can show you this. And then Cage jumps Ospreay from behind while he's looking at it. And then they just ring the bell and have the match. And you don't know shit from apple butter about what's going on. Kenny's fallopian tubes may have spilled out onto the goddamn floor. But they're off of that now. And the corpse referee was officiating. So that means that they can do anything they want to do because he don't know what the fuck's going on. And anyway, nobody wants to hear about the match. We will skip that because that saves 15 minutes of your life. But finally, Ospreay reversed a fucking, I don't know, a double goose fucking fraba and barely hit a Styles Clash on Cage because he didn't trap his one arm, and thankfully, he went with it anyway. 1, 2, 3, and he's a heavy motherfucker to begin with. And that was that. And then suddenly, here's Lance Archer, boom, and he jumps in there and starts getting heat on Ospreay. And it's kind of blasé heat that went nowhere. And it wasn't with any sense of urgency, and the people were kind of sitting there bored.
We've said this in the last few weeks, but it keeps happening with these same guys. They don't know how to do a beatdown. They don't know how to throw the blows. They don't know how to do anything other than just mug the person, just jump on them.
Many of them don't know how to take it. And there's an art to getting the shit kicked out of you. Also, you can keep them active and you can fight back a little bit at the start instead of one tackle pancake. They hit somebody one time, they're down, and they just boom. Remember the old footage of any major baby face in any territory. When they jump him, he fought back, and then the numbers finally got him. It was a struggle, and then the fucking heels look like they're meaning to do something and get away with it in a limited period of time. Not like, well, we've got all the time. We want to do this. We can take our time and walk around. Nobody's obviously going to interfere with this because it wasn't in the production meeting. It's just blah. So then the people are sitting there, and then they play the music, and here comes Kenny. And Kenny slides in with a chair, and he hits. You've got a goddamn blunt instrument in your hand. You've got a chair in your hand. There's this big fucking 6'9" guy or whatever. So what's the first thing you do? You take it and you run the edge of it into his stomach so that he will bend over and stand in a stooped over stationary position so you can get a different grip and then draw back and then hit him in the back while he's looking over like, are you going to hit me yet? The fuck?
Well, did you see Brian Cage was just standing there waiting for his turn?
Oh, yes. Well, Cage is standing there looking like, well, I wish he'd hurry up and get to me because I don't really have anything to do. And then he just threw the chair at him. So boom, he just bounce off and go on about his business, take the bump out.
He literally could have grabbed the chair out of Omega's hands. Instead, he stood there waiting for his turn to take the chair shot.
Yeah. And that's the thing is, if you don't know how to work on either side of that equation, if a motherfucker cannot, if you're going to hit a guy with a chair and you can't slide in and give the guy one good shot over the head with the fucking chair and him take it, and neither one of you are able to work enough to where that it would in any way be injurious to his fucking health, then don't come in with a fucking chair. Instead of doing this stagey indie outlaw bullshit. A gut shot with the fucking edge of a fucking chair. And then again, timing. They don't know how to get heat. They don't know how to make saves. They don't know how to feed. Whatever the fuck. But nevertheless, boom, he hits him, throws the chair at Cage, and he goes to help Will, and as they're holding off those heels, here comes fucking Kyle Felcher and take a shit. And now it's 4-on-2. Go ahead.
Now, that was the first time where you're like, okay, the segment could end right now. It's gone a while because it was with the match, and that went a while.
Yes.
Perfect time to end it right now. I maybe kind of want to see more.
It looks like that maybe Will and Kenny are going to put past them their personal picadillos and pussiness.
In this match alone, Kenny overcame getting this attack backstage and ran out there. This was the perfect time to end it right here.
Yes. But no. Because here comes Felcher and take a shit. And now it's 4-on-2, and they get do the same thing they just did. They all get more lackluster heat. Only now there's just more of them. And then they pick the baby faces up and give them double pile drivers in the middle of the ring, and then they stand there. And nobody came out to try to help. Not even a goddamn production assistant waving their arms like, we don't care if you've broken their necks, but you've gone over time. There was no attempt at containing this heinous business that people are standing there. By the end of it, could care less. He heats up. He cools down. He's all over the fucking page. Is all the baby faces. They get the shit kicked out of them. They come back. They start a fight. They get the shit kicked out of them again. Nobody tries to help. It's obviously not important to anybody in the company. And there's no sense of urgency from the heels. This is something that nobody talks about, maybe because nobody except me talking about it has ever actually had any goddamn experience. The more urgency that the heels are perpetrating their heinous act with, the more the people sense that it's something they're trying to get away with instead of just something that's part of the show or something that it doesn't matter or something that's just blasé or whatever. We were legitimately trying to, when you would beat up the baby faces or you would injure somebody with some angle, a tennis racket in the throat or a chair in the fucking head or fucking barbed wire dildo up the yin yang, whatever.
ECW.
Yeah, there you go. You were trying to get away with something. You were hurrying in a working way. You weren't rushing to the point where the people would miss it. You made the point of the thing. The actual act was accentuated, but there was an urgency to your actions as you were trying to get away with something before eventually someone or some forces came that would have been able to prevent it. But God damn it, they were just that late. That's what makes an impact. And I have felt, as I said, as a performer in the past, when you're doing it, you're trying to get away with something. That's the way you're looking at it. You're like, somebody's going to come stop me. I've got to do this and this and this, and we're going to make bang. And that imparts more of a sense of, oh shit, instead of just this endless wandering around, turning in circles and waiting for somebody else to come out. Because that's another thing you can tell. Anytime I produce television, Smoky Mountain Wrestling, Ohio Valley Wrestling, Ring of Honor, if the guys were doing an angle where there was going to be somebody hitting the ring and making a comeback and then there was something else happening, there would be some level of knowledge of the people in the ring as when we were going to send whoever we were going to send. We didn't say just go out and get heat and then we'll send them. Now we used to back in the territory days, we'll send them when it's right because everybody knew what they were doing. But no, when you get this or you have that done, then we're going to send so-and-so, and he needs to fucking blow a big comeback and a blah, blah, blah. And you would somewhat give the thing a structure so that it would keep moving and there would be the roller coaster ride, the peaks and valleys. They just send people out there and say, well, just get some heat on them, and then you go out. Well, what's my cue to go out? Oh, just let them get some heat. It's disjointed. I don't know what the fuck's going on. And everybody has to come out and get heat. So anyway, that was that. What did you think of that?
It went on way too long. And again, Kenny got beat down in the segment during the match in the back. Then he got beat down when he came out. And then the beatdown just continued again. Like they didn't want to end. It's just endless beatdowns on this show. And
then Archer went to business for himself, I think, and started hitting him in the gullet with the chair, like he was trying to rupture his diverticulitis again.
It's not a perfect example because not everyone's a chicken shit heel, but I think a Jimmy Hart, when he would jump in there and just start doing those little kicks that he would do to the guy on the mat, there was always a sense of urgency. Like, I have only X amount of time. I'm going to get as many kicks in as possible before I have to run or get punched in the face by Lawler or whatever it may be.
And also the thing was the kicks didn't hurt, but it was humiliating because look, now that the guy's down, there's that little fucking Weasley, don't weigh 150 pounds, and look at him kicking him. He's kicking him like a fucking Tinkerbell. And that was but there's no element of that here. It's just people going through the motions of doing shit that they've seen on fucking wrestling television. And I'm sick and fucking tired of it.
Two things. One,
yes,
I'm sure that'll be the best match on the Australia event, that tag match probably, with Takeshita and Fletcher versus Omega and Ospreay.
Oh, they better have ambulances standing by. They'll probably dive off the roof of the fucking stadium. Well, I forgot they're not in a stadium anymore. They'll dive off the roof of the arena.
If that doesn't go to 9 stars, there's a problem. But secondly, is there any merit at all to the argument that Omega and Ospreay beat up all 4 of these guys last week, moonsaulting off the Knoxville mezzanine or loge section in the Coliseum, whatever it was, and the lighting pole, that they needed to get beat down before the match, that it was, the other guys, not turn, but the right thing to do, anything to that? Was it needed?
Well, but see, then you're expecting me to justify what they did last week to explain why this week was still wrong. The thing is, it's endemic and it's embedded in what they do. That what do you come back with the following week from double moonsaults out of the balcony and the fucking lighting stands with? Well, should they have run them over with a car this week? Because next week, the stadium show, they're going to have to fucking, somebody's got to be set on fire, fire the flamethrower up again. It's all been so much for so long.
I guess it goes to my overall point, and it's been a point.
The overall point is, but shouldn't they get something back since I'm
not saying they should. I'm saying that's an argument. I don't think they should. I think the problem is too many baby faces are getting beat down on the pay-per-views and Dynamite.
Well, yeah. Here's the thing, and somebody said Uncle Dave was trying to pontificate on this recently in his publication. And say he had quantified it. Well, like this % of the time, then I believe that the baby faces should look strong just to make sure that, the people still believe it. At the same time, you've got to have the other % of the. And again, it's like somebody's trying to fucking put him in a math class and have him figure this out. It's unique. It's emotions and it's a feel. That's why bookers have a feel. That's why people who have done this, and right now the WWE, they have a feel in a lot of cases, like the bookers used to, of when you can sacrifice. Strowman doesn't mean anything to us right now, so we can get Fatu over that. But it's a feeling. There's no formula for it. There's no way you can quantify it mathematically. The guys in the territory days where they were in front of many of the same audiences in the same towns on a weekly or monthly basis, they were the best at feeling it. You need to get a babyface over with the fans that they believe in him and that more often than not, he would succeed in winning the title or achieving his goal or getting even with the fucking asshole if he got a fair shot at it. And once you establish a couple of those, one specifically in your territory, then you could take some out of his bank account to make a new heel. A new heel comes in by shitting in this guy's post toasties. And then you try to keep it interesting for as long as you can, but you still can't let the fans lose belief that in the end, their hero can get even with this fucking guy and they want to see it. And so all along the way is feeling, depending on the people involved, the situation, the crowds, what they buy. I've seen baby faces get over by being beaten in their initial appearances, but at the same time, the sympathy went with them enough that the people stayed with them. And, you know, there's no formula for it, but it's common sense. And when you've done too much of everything to everybody, then nothing registers the way it should with your fans because they've seen it. Or they've seen something similar. And they've seen so much of it. So that is the problem. They don't have the baby face that the people believe in, but they also can't get heat on the heels because not only do the people know that it's all fucking bullshit, but also that what can you do to a fucking human being to make people mad that incident was done when the people don't really truly like almost any of your baby faces and they've seen everything done already to a body. So then you're you're indie wrestling, which is where they're at right fucking now. Because that works in indie wrestling because it's not on TV and the local crowd only either 200 people see it once a month or 500 people see it twice a year. I'm sorry, am I on a soapbox here?
No, but I think that was very educational, and you brought up, obviously, a lot of great points that bookers should pay attention to, but sometimes they just wait until it's in the Observer before they pay attention to it.
You know, in the old time, the top guys with the booker would sit down. You can see Nick Bockwinkel and Ray Stevens in a fucking room with fucking Bruiser and Crusher and Gagne or whatever. Well, you know, we need to get something back, but we can't lose our heat. And it would be a negotiation. Well, we should do this, you should do that, and they would come up with it because they knew what the fuck they were doing, because they'd done it, and they had a feel for their audience. But everybody's different depending on their persona, how they're presented, and what the issue is. So there's no formula, but that's why it's an art. You've got to feel it and know when a baby face is getting over or a heel's getting over. But when you're beating them too much or making them like they did with MJF, that's a classic example of how to kill a hot heel. And with a baby face, they haven't really had anybody get over as baby faces more than when they debuted in AEW, except for the Hurt Syndicate. Just because they look like stars and are actually beating people. But I digress.
Well, again, it was a long opening segment, and although educational, a long review.
Yes.
And sometimes after things like this, a man would like to lay down and take a nap or go to bed or just say goodnight, I'll see you tomorrow for French toast in the morning.
Just say good night and have a pleasant tomorrow.
What does Kenny do? Good night and au revoir. What does he say? Good night.
He says, wait a minute. Good
Good day.
Good day. Wait a minute. Hold, now you've scared it out of me, as Mama Cornette would say. He says,
and have a pleasant tomorrow.
Good night, good news, mwah, and bang. I don't know. He's either kissing us off or shooting at us.
See, the funny thing is, every single thing you can imagine Miss Piggy saying. Good night. Mwah, I love you. Bang, bang. Well, he doesn't do bang, bang. It's just one bang, right?
Just one bang. Well, that's old one bang Kenny. That's what the girls all say. But I'll tell you what, hey, folks, whether you want to just lay down or get one bang.
That's why he's not in the Bang Bang Gang.
Well, the Bang Bang, it was all ganging up on the banging, and he couldn't take that. He's a private kind of guy. But folks, if you want to have a gangbang, we know what you can lay down on.
Let's not incorporate that activity necessarily.
Well, you know it's happened.
Well, of course it's happened. It's happening right now as we're recording in some places.
I mean on a Helix mattress.
Oh, I meant at the Marriott.
It just depends on, wait a minute, it's checkout time right now. They better not be. But you know it's happened on a Helix mattress, ladies and gentlemen. A lot of things have happened on a Helix mattress, but they won't sell you one that those things have happened on specifically. They'll send you a brand new one. You can put, did you do this, Brian, when you got your Helix mattress? Did you put the black light on it?
No, of course not. It was brand new. It was sealed. It was clean.
You still, everything that comes in the house has to have the black light passed over it just to make sure that it doesn't need to go back inside the decontamination chamber.
Do you just walk around with this black light?
Yes, every 2 weeks. But I'll tell you, folks, these Helix mattresses, they're going to be spotless under black light. Well, at least until Uncle Harry comes and pays a visit. But if you limit his Van Camp's pork and beans, then maybe you'll get by with it. But I'll tell you what, no matter what size mattress you need for how many people or how big the people are that are going to be banging in the gang, these things will wear up under stress. And if you want to have a pleasant tomorrow, then it starts with having a good night. And of course, that's where Helix can come in handy. Of course, for you newer listeners who may not be fully apprised of the situation, Helix makes the greatest mattresses on the face of the planet, like sleeping inside the warm belly of a puppy. Can you imagine any more comforting experience than that?
Yeah, maybe being on the outside of the puppy, we're just cuddling with your puppy.
Well,
the inside of the belly doesn't sound like it would be that soft. It sounds like it would be filled with like guts and.
Well, but then you'd be cold on the other side if you weren't inside the puppy's belly.
I mean,
but I agree with you.
How cold is it outside? I mean,
we'll make sure the guts are removed. But nevertheless, if you'd like to take your puppy and sleep together on the Helix mattress, that in the states that's still legal, and I believe Kentucky's one of them. I think I'm safe. I think that's permissible. Or if you want to let your spouse in on this thing too, spouses like these mattresses because, well, you got plenty of room to spread out. And whether you like to sleep on your back or your side, or whether you like to sleep without sweating to death or without freezing, they'll warm you up. They'll cool you down. They got the fat people mattress. They got the children's mattress, the little itty bitty thing. Boy, the mailman can tuck that right under his arm. They got the kids mattress. If you research online, folks, what stunts kids' growth, feed them plenty of that. These kids' mattresses will be good for 10 years of their life.
Well, you don't know. No, don't look at it like that. Use it for the appropriate time and then get ready for the next Helix sleep mattress.
I thought you meant get ready for the next kid you're going to have.
Well, the next kid will get the next mattress.
See, that's the thing. You're going to have 4 or 5 kids just to get, the full use out of this Helix Sleep children's mattress because they last so long. So get ready to get the big Helix mattress and start practicing now. All you do is go to helixsleep.com, folks, and you take the quiz about the kind of ways you like to sleep and the firmness or the hardness of how you like it. And then they will pick out the mattresses that they make that fit you like a glove. And then once it arrives and poof, it comes into shape right where you want it to, then it'll just be like you've just crawled into a goddamn glove. You won't want to get out. It's like a rose in a fisted glove. Except you will not be fisted by any gloves on any mattress, except, of course, if you've made separate arrangements. But right now, ladies and gentlemen,
Right now, we're going to go in a different direction and tell you about a great mattress that you can go to sleep on right now or tomorrow or later today.
I'll tell you what, just the New Year's sale is in its final hours through February the 2nd. I don't even know when you're going to hear this, folks, but you can get right now as I speak 20% off site-wide and 2 free dream pillows with every mattress purchase by going to helixsleep.com/JCE. helixsleep.com/JCE. 20% off site-wide and 2 free dream pillows with a mattress purchase. So let's say if you buy 5 mattresses, then you'll get 100% off and 10 pillows. So that's amazing. helixsleep.com/JCE for the things that I just described with.
That's right, a great mattress. We love them and endorse them here at Last Manor. Helix Sleep.